Hello everyone, this is Rajat from Rayn Studio. So in today's video, we will learn, is your app really simple to build? So this is the video for clients who are looking into buying software development services and they think that their idea is really easy to implement and they should be charged nominal money in order to get the idea implemented from a professional software developer. So this video will actually clear up several misconceptions about building software and how the softwares are built, what sort of complexity is involved. Subscribe to Rayn Studio's YouTube channel in order to learn more about software development. Also make sure to click the bell icon in order to be notified whenever a new content is available on the channel. If you are a client and you think the application looks so easy to build and implement, this is the video for you, and I request you to watch this video till the end so that you are at least aware of the complexities we as a developer and designers deal with in implementing your application. The intent is not to mock anyone because he or she is looking for a cost-effective software development solution, but the intent is to bridge the gap between the developers and the clients, because most of the time I have noticed that clients do not really have proper ideas about the complexities involved in building a digital solution. So I would like to tell you an incident that happened to me 2 or 3 years back. So I met this one client and he wanted to create an application about e-commerce. Everybody is building e-commerce these days. Back then it was a new thing. So he wanted us to build a simple e-commerce website, and then we were like, okay, let's meet up sometime and decide. And we actually did. And when we asked like if he had any sort of example he could show us, he told us that he actually did. And then he typed in amazon.com. So basically he opened up amazon.com and he wanted us to build amazon.com, and for a meager budget. It was a monumental task for us to make him understand that no matter how hard we are going to try, we won't end up building amazon.com for him, and certainly not in that particular budget. Also, we were only two guys. Amazon.com is built by armies of developers, right? So we could never match it. But the client was under the impression that okay, it looks very simple, the UI is ultra simple, so like one or two guys can really build it. It is certainly not the case, and it was never the case. So let me tell you this, the apps that look very inefficient to operate and pleasing to the eyes and simple are the hardest one to build, because they are based upon the years of psychological research and observation people have been doing all around the globe, so as to reach to the conclusion like what please the user's eyes, what is actually engaging, and how to actually present information in such a way that it looks inefficient on the surface and still it actually caters to the user's requirement. So it takes a lot of effort in researching, developing the algorithms, and then prettifying the data in such a way that the information is so easy to consume. So we have to work quite a lot on decreasing the complexity on the forefront, that is the UI of the application. But it is certainly not the case that the algorithms are so easy to implement, and it takes years for a professional to build up knowledge to that level where he is able to create a mental map of algorithm and the tech stack which would be required to implement your application. So it is not like that if the application has only one control on the surface, it is very easy to build. There can be a lot of complexity involved. So for example, let's talk about a hypothetical application where you point a camera to someone's face and you get to see his social media handles on the UI. Now, as per you, it is so simple. I mean, most of the clients would think that it is very easy to build. You just have to point the camera. It means that the developer should open the camera and then it should just create some UI. Let me give you a hypothetical breakdown of how that thing can be implemented technology wise. So first of all, you have to create an Android and iOS application, and then you have to open the camera interface in that application. Now this is the first task. Now for any experienced mobile developer, it would be an easy task and it could be completed in 2 or 3 hours. But the thing is, how to open the camera UI and how the camera UI should look can take up a considerable amount of time to lay out on the mobile screen properly, right? Then you have to upload that data, I mean the facial data, to the servers. Now there are servers involved, and since you have to transport your facial data to the servers, now there is networking involved. Also, once your data reaches the server has to run some sort of artificial intelligence algorithms in order to decide whether it is a male or a female data. So now we are talking about algorithms. Then after deciding the gender of the thing, it should match the age of the subject. Then after that, it has to match up that data with all of the data it has seen previously so as to get to a conclusion like who can it be in the provided picture. Now we are talking about is image recognition and matching. Now this is an advanced computer science application and it takes a lot of time in training models for recognizing things like these because there can be a lot of subtlety between two faces. So we have to be really rigorous with the implementation of the algorithm, right? So now I think you are getting to see the entire picture of how a simple application like that face recognition application could be implemented technology wise. So now you are talking about engineers who should be aware of UI building on Android and iOS, then machine learning on the back end, then they should also be aware of networking so as to securely transfer the data between the servers and your mobile phones, and then they should also be knowledgeable about building the UIs and building the UIs in such a way that the information looks inefficient to get, right, for the end user, right? So the application should be really intuitive as per the end user. So this is the complexity of an hypothetical facial recognition application, right? So most of the applications we build today are quite complex because most of the applications use servers in one way or another. Hence, I would say that the application that looks so easy to build is not actually that easy to build. So am I implying that there are no easy to build applications? Of course there are. See, if you talk about building a calculator application, then most of the time there will be no servers involved and it can be really easy to build. But if you talk about building a calculator which looks very pleasing to the eyes and which tries to bring new sort of interaction with the user, now you are talking about innovation. Now you need people who can think and who are very creative. So you need a development team who is very creative and who is innovative at the same time as well. So now you are not talking about just implementing a calculator, you are talking about creating an application and rethinking the entire way of how we interact with the calculator. So that sort of calculator could be like not so easy to build. The other sort of simple application could be an informational website or an application which only contains 6 or 7 pages of just static content and nothing changes from the backend and there is no server involved. Even if there is server involved, it is just sending data or the static data to the UI, that is your Android or iOS application or a web application. So those applications are really easy to build. There are systems like WordPress, that is a blogging software which could be used as a content management system to publish dynamic content as well, and it is just a plug and play system which can be leveraged for building trivial applications like blogging and applications which provide some sort of information to the end user. But generally, most of the applications are not of that nature. Most of the applications which are designed today are not so easy to build. They are designed to keep the users in the ecosystem so as to sell to them, so as to drive some sort of monetary benefit out of the users. Now these kind of applications are not so trivial to build. Based on the skill and the experience of the development team involved, it can be comparatively harder or easier, but still at the end of the day you cannot just say that it is quite trivial to build, because it is clearly not. Now I can totally relate that where most of the clients are getting their ideas from. There are many people who are posting that they can provide really affordable web development and mobile development services, but at the end of the day, what is the quality of the service they are providing? It should be investigated properly before giving the contract to that agency or developer. Because see, it is so easy to onboard a client based on cost effectiveness, but it is so hard to implement what he actually wants, and to implement in such a way that the implementation is also cost effective. It is quite hard. Then you are talking about developers who have years of experience in building such applications, or who have delivered some cutting edge applications using their skills. So in case you are thinking about hiring an agency or a developer, I would suggest that you have a better look at their portfolio and what kind of applications have they developed in past, so as to get a rough idea of their capabilities and how much can they actually deliver on their promises. There is one more thing I want to mention, is that the productive output of any developer or any team is directly proportional to the years of experience and the kind of applications they have built. So to get that years of experience, they have to survive, they have to take care of their bodies, and they can only do that when they are getting proper compensation for their hard work. So instead of always bargaining on the price point, we should really think that whether the person who I am giving the contract to is capable enough to implement the thing I want to implement in a way I want him to implement, and would he be able to provide his services, and would he be able to scale up his knowledge as per my business. So if in future my business scales up, is he willing to scale his knowledge up as well, so as to cater to the new challenges your business is going to face? So those are some questions you should ask, and then as per these things you should really decide what kind of developers and agencies you should hire to implement and develop your next application. So I hope that this video of mine was never taken in a bad light, that I am trying to look down on clients who are trying to get their technological stack built in a cost effective way. This is just to educate everyone in the loop, or everyone who is involved in the implementation of the system, that how complex the technology is when it comes to the implementation, and we should be respectful towards our software development teams. And if you are interested in more topics like these, make sure you subscribe to Rayn Studios YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up, so as to tell me that you want to see more videos of this kind.